Have you ever noticed how some entrepreneurs never really sell, and yet people still buy from them? No hard pitch, no pressure, no convincing. Meanwhile, other entrepreneurs are posting consistently, getting views, likes, and followers, but still struggling to turn content into real leads and sales. Well, over the past 7 years, for creating content for seven-figure coaches and global billion-dollar brands, I've seen it all. I've seen creators and entrepreneurs with the smallest audiences close high-ticket clients, where others who have mass amount of followers and attention struggle just to monetize it. And this isn't because sales calls don't work. It's because the sale is now happening before the conversation. I don't want to hop on a call with you before I'm already sold on who you are, what you believe in, and what the heck your product is. And so in this video, I want to show you the shift that's happening in the market, going from creating content that gets views, likes, and followers to actually creating content that generates leads, sales, and opportunities money can't buy. So if you want to create content so premium that you don't need sales calls, then this is the video for you. I bet you've probably felt this before. You click on someone's content and you think, wow, I instantly trust this person. Like, they haven't even pitched me, they haven't sold me on anything, but something just feels different, feels premium. Then when you look at your own content, you think to yourself, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm being consistent, I'm posting online, I'm maybe getting engagement or likes and follows, but I'm not really seeing a change in my business. I'm not really creating leverage or creating momentum or getting opportunities that show up in my DMs or my email. But we're on the same platform, we're using the same tools, we have the same camera. Like, what is going on? Why is this person getting different outcomes than me? And this is the mistake so many entrepreneurs are making. They're prioritizing the wrong scoreboard. They're prioritizing views and likes and followers because they've been sold this idea that content is made only for top of funnel, only for attention. But what really builds a business is leads, it's sales, it's opportunities. And the way to get that is you have to change your goal of creating content. Go from trying to get attention to try to build authority. And this is what's going on in the new era. We are no longer in the attention economy. We are entering into the authority economy. It used to be like, if you could get eyeballs, you would win, okay? That world is gone, okay? Because of AI, it is now easier than ever to get attention. Going viral is automated and content is everywhere. To get seen isn't as hard as it used to be. But what is getting trusted. We're now in an age where the authority economy exists. And in this economy, the person with the most trust will always win and beat out the person who has more attention. And this is why sales feel harder than ever, because people don't want to buy things. They want to buy from people they know, like, and trust. So the sale hasn't disappeared. It just moved into a different part of the journey. It moved into content. And so the top entrepreneurs who are winning today, who will make millions in 2026, aren't focusing on selling. They're focusing on content creation, on branding, on marketing, because trust before the call is what makes business effortless, what makes business seamless, makes business predictable, and makes opportunities show up that money can't buy. Because when trust is built before the call, conversations feel completely different. There's no convincing, there's no pressure, there's no objections, because they already believe you, they already trust you, they feel like they know you. They're not asking if it works, they're asking, how do I get started? And this is what I like to call the authority-driven content model. It's how you create content that pre-sells so conversations and sales feel inevitable. And it's built on 4 simple parts. So let's go to my iPad so I can walk you through it. So the big mistake that so many coaches, consultants, creators, and entrepreneurs are making is they're playing the wrong game, okay? They're playing in the views, reach, trying to go viral game. Instead, they should be focusing on trust, because in 2026, we are living in a trust recession. More and more people are not trusting what they see and hear online. And because of AI, it's made things so much easier to create content, so much easier to go viral. What this resulting is people are not trusting what they see, right? So 70% of people are saying that They do not find it harder to trust what they see and hear online. 59% say it's so difficult to distinguish between content created by humans and content created from AI. And 84% want AI to be labeled on social media platforms. So what does this mean? Like, what does this mean for us as entrepreneurs? Is that we need to focus on creating trust at scale. Now, how do we do that? Okay. Well, Google came out with a study that takes on average 7 hours of content consumed in order for someone to trust us enough to buy. So what this means is the more that someone trusts us, the more and easier it is for them to become a client. And so all we need to do is create more trust. But question is how? How do we create trust? What type of content actually creates the trust, okay? Well, this is a real world example, okay? You have two different avenues you can take, right? Traditionally, you can do the short form route, which is Instagram Reels, TikToks, you name it, or you can go the YouTube route, long form video, and other platforms, right? Now, for you to reach 7 hours, if you do the math, let's say they're 1 minute reels, you need 425 reels to reach 7 hours versus 7 hour-long YouTube videos. I don't know about you, but the YouTube seems not only easier, but way more doable and sustainable that I can sustain. And I'm not gonna watch 420 Instagram reels with someone. Like, no way, right? But I would watch 7 hour-long YouTube videos. Definitely. In a weekend, in a week, in a month, I can definitely watch 7 hours of YouTube content. Right? And so just to show you that this is not just theory, this is real life examples. This is my client, Dan Bolton. He made a presentation for our community, and to show you that he did the exact same thing that probably a lot of you watching have done in the past. You create a short form. He got hundreds of thousands of views with his short form videos, but got 0 clients, okay? And then the minute he went to YouTube, look at this, okay? He started off with only less than 2,000 subscribers, getting on average 1,000, 1.2, 1.3, 1.7 views. But then look at his DMs, okay? He's getting DMs like this. Yo, just watch one of your YouTube videos and I want to work with you. Yeah, my intuition is leading me to binging your videos, okay? Hey, Dan, I've been binging your content lately and would love to chat more about possibly working together, okay? He focused on creating YouTube content, and as a result, he grew his business over $144,000 every single month in his business, okay? If you want this asset, by the way, he created a video. Down below, there's a link. You can download it absolutely for free. You can get the full playbook of how he did this, okay? Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that we are no longer in the attention economy. We are now in the authority economy. The person with the most authority will win in 2026. And so for you to become the authority that clients chase, that opportunities chase, that you never have to worry about money again or never have to worry about where your next client is coming from, you need a new model. You need a new content strategy. And that's when the authority-driven content model comes into play. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to review these 4 pillars that go into the authority-driven content model so that at the end of this video, you'll know exactly what content you need to create to become the authority in your niche and get clients coming to you already pre-sold. And it all starts with this first block, which is your position, okay? Authority starts with position. If you say the same thing as everyone else, then the other person will win. Okay, take Alex Hormozi as an example. If he made a video about how to get clients, and I made a video about how to get clients, who do you think is going to win? Who are you going to click on? You're going to click on him because he is much bigger authority. But if I made a video on how to get clients for your coaching consulting business through the power of content without going viral, well, I might win because it's positioned more closer to my ideal prospect. Okay, so this is the important thing. So how to come up with your position, I like to call this the 4 Ps, okay? So P number 1 is your proof, okay? So your proof is you defining what have you accomplished, right? Write this down. Take a sheet of paper, write down in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, write down what have you accomplished, what success, what proof do you have in the market that you could talk about online, okay? Next, after proof, what is the person you solved this problem for? Who did you do this for? What is the person that you did this for, okay? Next is the problem. What problem did you solve for that person to get to the proof? Next is your promise. So based on the proof you have for the person and the problem you solve, what is your promise in the market? What are you promising people based on your content, right? So my content, I talk about how you can become the authority clients chase. That is my promise, because I can't guarantee anything. But what I can do is help build an asset for you, build the mechanism, the skill of creating content so powerful that you become the authority, you become the obvious choice. Clients come to you ready to buy without needing a sales call. Okay. And the last one, okay, this is like a bonus one that a lot of people don't talk about, is POV, point of view. The reason this goes under position is because your perspective is what helps you stand out. You see, people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. And if your perspective is different from the market, then they're going to align with you more. As an example, if there's two fitness coaches, one fitness coaches helps you lose 20 pounds. The other one helps you lose 20 pounds. They're both targeting, let's say, dads, right? But one uses the keto diet and one uses the vegan diet. Well, certain dads are going to be more pulled to go to the vegan, and other dads are going to be more pulled to go to keto, right? One is about eating meat and vegetables and reducing carbs and sugar. The other one is just eating vegetables, not eating meat at all, and it's a totally different lifestyle. But they both get the same result. So it's positioned for the person, the problem, and the promise, and based on your proof. This is all you need. It's not that complicated. You just have to take the time to really think about your position. Don't overthink this. Just take a sheet of paper, write everything out, and then use ChatGPT, chat with it to figure out a positioning statement that you're happy with. Okay? Pillar number 2. Now, this is a powerful one. Okay? This is called packaging. Okay? Packaging is probably the most important skill in 2026. Now, it's not about like what you say, it's how you frame it, because people don't buy information, they buy certainty. That's why like this video isn't called like my thoughts on content. It's called how to create videos so premium that people buy without sales call. Like that packaging was crafted very strategically, because the title does the selling. Okay, the content fulfills the promise. In the video, you know exactly who this is for, what is the outcome of this video, and what is the pain that we're solving, right? All said in the packaging. So how do we figure out our packaging? Okay. Packaging is about selling two things: pain and payoff. When you want to package something, most people think of it as selling the thing, right? So I help people create content. So if I was to do a traditional packaging, it'd be like how to create content. But the thing is, that doesn't talk about the pain. That doesn't talk about the payoff. It doesn't talk about the outcome that people want, right? So to win in packaging, you have to focus on what is the pain that you're solving and what is the outcome, right? So if I was going to make let's say I was going to make another YouTube video, think of it like a framework. Think of it like how to achieve X without Y. Right? So you're asking yourself, what is the outcome I'm trying to help them with, and what pain am I solving for them, right? So you want to think of pain and payoff. The next thing, you want to think of packaging. You want to think broad appeal, but narrow focus. Here's what I mean, okay? So there's certain things that we all broadly want. Like we all want more money. We all want better relationships. We all want, we all want to be healthy, right? So there's this broad appeal, but you want to have a narrow focus. And this is where packaging and positioning comes into play. So if you take money as an example, right? We all want to make more money. So you can use the broad appeal of making more money, but narrow it down into what you specifically do. And that's how you can get a broad appeal. Your packaging can be broad and narrow together. So you want to think about, okay, so in this example, if I was to make another YouTube video or another asset, right? I can make the the how to become a millionaire part-time with YouTube, right? That's an example of a broad appeal, become a millionaire, right? Part-time, right? So I'm talking about pain and payoff, and narrow with YouTube with the simple 4-hour YouTube system, right? Let's say that was it. So that is very, very broad, but very narrow in the same thing. So that tells them who this is for, what this is about, what problem we're solving, all in that one title. That's the whole point of packaging is you want clarity. People need to be clear on what is the idea. If people are unclear, uncertain, they're not going to click on the video. They're not going to watch your content. So your packaging has to focus on these core elements if you want to win in 2026. The next pillar. So the next piece of the puzzle is the production. Okay, so production isn't about all this fancy equipment, gear, lighting, crazy editing. Like those things can help, but what really makes this stand out, the secret to like production when it comes to building authority is consistency. Because authority is built through leadership, and leadership requires credibility, and credibility requires consistency. Right? So your visuals, if they're changing every week, if your style is changing every week, if your setup is consistently changing, it'd be harder to be perceived as an authority, not because your content's bad or anything, but because you're just inconsistent in the visuals with your production, right? Production is like this, right? Me editing on the iPad, me talking to the camera, me using a camera, not my iPhone, right? I'm not saying you can't use your iPhone. You don't have to do this. It's not about the gear, I promise you. It's about the system and the setup, okay? If you can dial in your system and have a setup where you turn on the camera, you turn on the mic, you turn on the light, turn on the camera, and press record, and you have that system and it's dialed, you will be consistent. The easier you can make content creation, the less effort you have to make it, the more consistent you will be. And so on top of everything you have to do, if then it's a struggle to create content, how are you ever going to be consistent? So you have to have a format that makes it easier. I love this iPad format because it allows me to think through my ideas, right? So I think through my ideas. I think through my ideas. I make almost like a little presentation. I talk through them out loud, and I find visuals, and I create notes, and I highlight things, and then it's easy for me to follow. I don't have to read a script. I can just go through these things, right? And then I can talk about them and write, and that's easy for me. That might not be for everyone. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe it's you do want a script, right? There's no right or wrong answer, but you want to make it easy and effortless for you to do so that you can be consistent. And this is what helps you build authority in this space, okay? So very simple. You need a simple system to keep track of your ideas. You know, what's in filming, what's in editing, what's in publishing, right? And then have a simple setup for you to actually make it happen, just like this, right? And so, yeah. Now, the last piece of the puzzle, the last pillar is publishing. Most people post randomly, okay? Authorities publish with intent. Every piece of content has a job. And the job of your content is to fill the gap between stranger and buyer, right? As we saw before, that in order to fill the gap, you need more trust. But you're not just going to post random content that's not going to fill the gap, right? That's going to create more noise. How we fill the gap is we use the gap framework when it comes to our content. We use growth content. Growth content, this helps us to get known in the market. We focus on authority content. This helps us build trust. And we focus on personality. This is also POV for likability. This is also POV. This is also your beliefs, your everything, right? So it's not just your personality, but this is what we focus on. We have a content calendar that helps us get known, that helps us get trusted, and to help people get to know us and like us, right? There's a reason why you follow the creators you follow, because maybe you like that they're a father, maybe you like that they're a dancer, maybe you like their fashion or their food that they eat, right? all those things play into the personal side of personal branding. Like, I know we're talking about building authority, but like a big part of the puzzle that a lot of you guys are missing is this part right here, the personality, right? It's less about, yes, getting known and having authority, but we all want to work with people we know, like, and trust, right? If you don't like the person, like if you just like, I don't believe in the same thing they believe, like maybe they're religious and I'm not, or vice versa, or maybe they have a different political view or whatever, right? It's harder for me to work with them or to believe them because it's like, I'm not going to want to hang out with this person, right? And especially in a coaching or if you're a professional service provider, like this is a big part of the puzzle you have to fill. And so when you thinking about content, right, you have to think about what's going to get you known. What is the ads? What is the partnerships? What is the outliers that you're going to create to get you known in the market? What's the proof? What's the frameworks? What's the stories you're going to tell to get you trusted? And then what parts of your personality do you want to show? Do you want to shine? So that people can know you, like you, and actually get to know the person behind the camera, right? So this is what the new model is, the authority driven content model. This is how you stand out in 2026. This is how you become the authority clients chase. And if you want to become the authority clients chase in 2026, I'm hosting a free workshop to help you guys make it happen in 2026. All the information is linked down in the description. I want to help you guys create content in a new way, in a different way that'll actually get you results. I've been doing this for 7 years. I've been able to work with countless of professionals and entrepreneurs, and I'm so pumped and excited because I'm going to be revealing all the secrets I've gathered over the 7 years creating content, and everything will be at this event. So if you are interested, go check it out. Really, really game changing. Without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Obviously, click the like, subscribe, whatever, do all the things. But stay tuned for more content because we'll be doing a lot more just like this. Thanks. Peace.